Well, a little south of the video store is a show called Off Our Stones. We got Andrew and me and a friend Cody. We're gonna rank some funky songs. Rank them songs. Gonna rank songs. Longest list in the whole damn town. Longer than Okie Kong. Meaner than a junkyard dog.
Oh boy, that was fun. Good times. We are laughing
It just gets better and better every time.
every time. Never gets old.
Hmm.
Welcome back to Off Our Stones, the show where Brooklyn and I make our own top 500 songs of all time list with the help of the people's champ, Cody Newberry.
Like the way the community was built, the way it always should be. Cody should just rank all the lists to make sure that they complete the prophecy of what the community will be.
Yes,
Cool.
and we cannot thank you enough for your service, Cody, considering you are stuck with Brooklyn Vale and Andrew Barr. How you feeling today?
Oh,
was
I realized I've done 11 of these. This is my 11th one, and I'm like, oh, this is a commitment. Listen, I'm having fun. I overlooked like some of the key like what the crap song because I think like wow this list is good. The more I dug into it, the more I listened to it. I'm in a real internal struggle tonight. Do I? Because I have to save some arrows for later episodes. I know that.
You don't
sometimes-
have to.
Sometimes you just let a few good men just die on the field and then move to the next battle. So this one may be like a 20 that you got this one, but I'm coming heavy-handed for the other ones, and this could just be like you guys are a dumb morons on this list. Plus, we don't have many more to decide who gets a nice playlist to listen to. Like that's exciting.
I'm sucking the hind tiss on that one. I need some catching up.
Oh yeah, considering last week I pulled ahead 52 to 48.
I think the biggest spread of the series so far.
So far, yeah. For those of you who are unaware, for the section of the list where Brooklyn and I didn't both have the song on our list, Cody is choosing which song is better, and whoever Cody picks the most often gets to make a playlist for the other person to listen to. They can only listen to this playlist for a week, and they also get to pick a movie of their choice for the other person to watch. So
Okay.
let's see if Brooklyn can rally back this week.
Never watching a movie that Brooklyn suggests, so I'm telling you, it's interesting.
Look, last time Brooklyn and I made this bet, I made him watch The Miami Connection.
The greatest movie, according to Peter Griffin.
The greatest movie ever. All right. Let's start off this hoedown with Moon Age Daydream by David Bowie versus Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. And it looks like we're already going to start with Cody. Brooklyn, I will let you take the floor first on this one.
So this shocked me even to an extent whenever I had this on the list. I think the original just does a really good job. There are some covers out there that I think could be a placeholder of this list depending on who we really talk to. But I think what this original does so well is that just the dynamic nature of the verse and just how he delivers his lines. They're very consistent throughout his discography, so you just kind of get used to it after a while. But then it's that big booming chorus in between, and it's one of the most covered chord progressions. Like everybody wants to mimic it because of how beautiful it really is.
With Moon Age Daydream by David Bowie, this is part of his Ziggy Stardust era, where the experimentation got a little bit wilder and more spacious. I just really love the melody in this. The instrumentation is fantastic. The part that sealed it to be this high on my list, though, is the chorus towards the end where it starts to echo itself, and it just creates this incredible sense of this incredible sense of space and just like sonic thing. I can't even speak. I love how it's done so well. Hallelujah is a song that I had thought about putting on my list this version and or the not Jeff Beck version,
The Jeff Buckley.
Jeff Buckley version. And it got to the point where I'm just like, it's a great song, but it just kind of started slipping off my 500 list.
Okay. For the Moon Age Daydream argument or whatever, I think this is not the best from Ziggy Stardust era.
Oh, I agree.
In particular, I just think it's trying to do too much. Like it's going for that like Bohemian Rhapsody scenes from Italian restaurant style, and I just don't think it quite lands. Otherwise, else like it's okay. Like I understand why. I think in this section we're getting a little too high.
Okay, I think we're gonna keep this one short and just send it over to Cody.
Oh, okay. So this is a struggle. I've made my case on David Bowie before. I'm the Wes Anderson of music, is how I describe it.
I mean, it's not entirely inaccurate.
I know. I hit the nail on the head for that one. Just not mine. He has some good ones. He just doesn't hit for me all the time. The struggle I have is this version of Hallelujah sucks. It sucks royally. And even the Buckley version sucks royally. The thing is, if you look up like covers of people, so I think if you like poll like a general public of like one of the most covered songs ever, Hallelujah has to be like way up there on the list of things.
Oh yeah.
So I think if I just Google Hallelujah cover, I find 15 to 30 people that I would rather hear sing it. One, I'm kind of a fan of like a female voice with Hallelujah. That's just a personal preference. I don't know because like I've heard Tori Kelly and I've heard like, and I'm not saying they're the best, but I've heard other people sing Hallelujah and I like it more. The reason why I'm not using the veto here is because Hallelujah's on the list. Like, yes, it's by him. It will be by him, but the version of the song is here, so I don't want to waste it like I did the last time to make it fun. But I don't want to keep doing that for versions because you have the song. So technically, on the top 500 songs, that song exists. You can listen to it whoever you want. It's just we chose by this. I don't hate Moon Age Daydream. I think it's a fine song, but Hallelujah is an iconic song. So overall, I'm going to put Hallelujah over it.
Okay. So Brooklyn picks up that one as we move on to what is going to be 298 and 297. Mad City by Kendrick Lamar versus I Feel Love by Donna Summer. And I'm afraid I already know where this is going because of previous episodes. But I will say, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar, I feel like a lot of people go with me on this one. I feel like a lot of people heard Sicko Mode by Travis Scott and Drake a few years back and were like, oh, wow, listen to all the different like pieces and like ways that this song breaks off. Mad City did that shit first, or at least before that one. The beat switches are so incredible because all of the beats in this are fantastic. The way that Kendrick's verse pans during that last part and it pitch shifts, creating this eerie tension of what life in Compton is like and how it can twist and manipulate. Fantastic. Lyrically, this has got some of the most interesting lyrics that Kendrick Lamar has ever written. The line about innocent Kendrick in the street with a basketball and some now and laters to eat, with the images of him becoming a lawyer or doctor, even in the city of Compton. It's such a dense, dynamic, expertly produced song.
So yeah, I Feel Love by Donna Summer is like it's this kind of marriage of like this disco love and then kind of similar, like we were talking on previous shows about like Kraftwerk and kind of their influence on like techno beats, and then on this song in particular, there's kind of a natural matchup with it, and just how they layer the beat, and then her vocals on top of it all, and it just, you're kind of in this trance almost. Like, I think that the song is aged really well, and then like it has this really nice build to it. Like by the time you get to the second or third verse, you have these like 4 or 5 layered harmonies that just sound angelic, almost at times. And I think it just wanted Donna's best. I don't have anything bad to say about Mad City. I think it's a fucking unreal song. The biggest compliment that I have for it is I think this would have been really good on Dre's Compton album. I agree with all the different changes in beats. It's dynamic, and the lyrics are there. I think my song has had a little bit more time to age. And I think it has its spot, whereas with yours, I don't think it has its setting quite yet.
This was 2012, so it's been a decade now, and I think that's plenty of time to see if it belongs on a list like this. I will say, I fucked up. I feel Love should be on this list. It should have made my top 500 list. I made a mistake. I don't think it would have been this high on my list, but I think it's deserving of being on a 500 list in general. I still think Mad City is better because of just like the places that it goes. But I feel Love, dope ass song, definitely deserving of being on this list. Cody.
So if you heard that, Brooklyn, I'm pretty good at, I've done a lot of shows with like lists and ranking and backtracking. That was what's called a backtrack. Bar said some shit, knew, and now doesn't know how to back it up anymore. Listen, I like Donna Summers a lot. This is not the song that I gravitate towards or love. Like, you say it's like hypnotic. I agree. It's very, like, for me, off-putting. Like that, a lot of the like, and then it's not a lot to it. It's cool. Her voice is cool. I understand like musically how that's like a really cool, like for a musician or somebody that play, like that's sweet how it sounds and how it works. For me as the common man, not so much. I got to go Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. I think I love this song. I think it just works so well. I think Kendrick gets like labeled as like the rapper of like this general, like he's the guy right now, but like I think this song is just absolutely incredible. So yeah.
Okay.
That's absolutely fair.
Gonna take the point I gave to Brooklyn earlier. Give it.
I knew you did that. I was like,
that I absolutely did.
This just proves Bar knows nothing. So.
I don't know a goddamn thing, and I never said that I did. But let's move on to what are going to be number 296 and 295. This is going to be real spicy because we start cracking into Brooklyn's 100 with I Got a Name by Jim Croce versus Without Me by Eminem. Brooklyn's going first.
Can you go first on this one? I need to practice something right quick.
Sure, go. I'll take over here. Okay, first of all, Jim Croce, one of my favorite artists of all time. Absolutely incredible vocalist. And he actually gets to really show his dynamic range in this one. He gets to belt a little bit more than we normally hear him. The swelling instruments towards the end of this song is just luscious and gorgeous and so expertly spaced in the mix. But it is the same as with most Jim Croce songs. It is Jim Croce and the lyrics of this song that are just something so fucking special. As I said before, Jim Croce sounds amazing on this song. And lyrically, it is just a rush of freedom. A freedom of being yourself, a freedom of being on the open road. It is just a gorgeous piece.
I mean, that beat there is pretty fucking sick. I could listen to that on loop for hours. I think it is one of the best beats that Dr. Dre has made. It embraces this era of Eminem where like they're looking for Slim Shady, they're looking for that edge, and it's like, I'm going to give you that edge, but I'm going to give it to you in the humor style that I'm known for. there's something I did want to say though. There are 4 people in the world that you don't piss off because they're just that funny. Don Rickles, Ryan Stiles, Joe Pesci, and then Slim Shady is the other person.
That's really fair. That's a good list.
Don't piss them off. Machine Gun Kelly got brutalized with Killshot, and I just think this is one of his best lyrically in terms of how he plays off the beat. My favorite line in this is the testing attention, please feel the tension. Soon as someone mentions me, here's my 10 cents. My 2 cents is free. A nuisance who sent you sent for me. How he uses like the O and the like, just the rhyming in that is so cool. The thing that I will say about I Got a Name by Jim Croce, fucking unreal song. As we've learned already in the show, one of the themes is that you don't mess around with Jim. I think you swap this one though and Time in a Bottle. I think Time in a Bottle is better. This is really pretty. I like how it changes from like I Got a Name to like I Got a Dream in the third verse. I think it's really sweet in that way. But I think the verse and the chorus are almost 2 different things. Like they tried to force them together.
I think that this one's a little bit better than Time in a Bottle because Time in a Bottle, while great in its simplicity, the build and the swell in this is just such an incredibly done musical idea. Not to say the Time in the Bottle is not great. It was on my fucking list. But it's just the simplicity of that one is overpowered by the impressiveness of the instrumentation in this one. Okay. I like this song a lot. It's one of Eminem's best songs lyrically. It's super impressive. And that is a great beat. It is a sample though, so to say that Dre created this beat is a little off. It's
one of his best beats, but like obviously he does sample. Like that's not a fact that he hides. Yeah.
Right. I'm just trying to get anything that I can in this moment.
I think you're ahead going into this, knowing who the third person is, but
I know, but still, even then, I can use every point that I can get. However, a great choice without me. I just think it's a little high. Personally, to me, if this was in like the 350, 400 range, that would probably fit a little better. But on our list, that's where it's happening. So
the last thing that I'm going to say to that is, for kids our generation, when this song comes on, tell me who doesn't know at least the first verse. This just got like this can't be overplayed. It's just it has that much hype surrounding it.
I was not allowed to listen to this song when this song came out.
Neither was I, but I still listened to it anyways. Like this is the one. Eminem was the one artist that I rebelled. I was like, I don't care about you, mom and dad. I'm going to listen to these guys.
Cody's rapping along to it already. Let's go to him.
So this is like the worst scenario for this matchup ever. It's Jim Croce versus like my favorite like rapper of all time. Like it's not even close. Like I love Eminem. Even people that say like is a down or it doesn't work, like I love Eminem stuff like through and through. I still find it hilarious when like people call him out or say something. And just like I think it was The Game was the last one. He's like, I'm saying something. He's like, you don't want that. Like he made Machine Gun Kelly change genres. Like
yes,
he literally quit rap. Like he got dismantled so bad he had to
the amount
switch.
of people I know who say Machine Gun Kelly won crack.
He even like changed his fashion after like messing with like that's great. Like Machine Gun Kelly never dressed like that before, but as soon as Eminem was done, he changed whoever he was, all about him. This is tough. Jim Croce, like I love this song a lot, but I would be lying to myself if I didn't put Without Me like higher. Just as soon as that record scratch, just I'm in throughout. And this is like his first like not his first, but like the big one that just went for people's throats, like in it. Like he just was like, listen, you're nothing without me. Like, say what you want, say what you will. I am the greatest at what I do, and it's just it's not my favorite Eminem song, but there's like
he
he
kind
has
of
a discography that can just play on play for me.
he definitely tiptoed with it before with My Name Is and The Real Slim Shady, but this one he's like, oh, I'm going super.
I'm done. You're not going to invite me to. I don't care. I don't want the Grammys. I don't want anything else. Fine. You want to say he's the best rapper? Cool. Without me, you're nothing. Watch me.
All right. So with that, we are going to move on to numbers 294 and 293. Those being Small Town by John Mellencamp versus Grace 2 by the Tragically Hip. Cracking into my top 100 now at my number 100 is Small Town by John Mellencamp. I'm going to start, even though I started last time, just to keep the flow going. So if you ever met anyone from a small town, what's the one thing that they love to talk about more than anything? The fact that they're from a small town. However, John Mellencamp is able to take that idea and add a level of power, but also comfort to this song, which I think is really impressive. Especially since the way he writes the lyrics, I can understand how people would find this a little tedious. But the way that John Mellencamp delivers this with so much pride and gusto, and the instrumentation just absolutely being awesome, but having that, once again, that little level of comfort with that harmonica, it's just a fantastically made song.
So we're getting into like the kind of like the Mount Rushmore of Canadiana, with the Tragically Hip. I almost brought on a witness for this bracket, but then I saw the matchup and I was like, I'm fine. I should be fine here. This is an incredible. This is an incredible song in alt rock. Just the opening lines. It's like, he said, I'm fabulously rich. Come on, just let's go. And like the call and answer of the of like kind of like the pre-chorus or whatever, like, I can guarantee there'll be no knock on the door. And then you get into Gord Downey's, just like whenever he's getting into the end of the chorus, and like when he hits a high note, armed with will and determination, and then just how he falls off in the end. The bass line in this is incredible. Just the build that it has in particular. This also gets a big boost, given that this is the last song that they had done like before their encores for their final show that they did in Kingston, which is like this massive event in our country. That these guys are heavily celebrated, and they need to be recognized for their work. Small Town by John Mellencamp. I like John Mellencamp. There are some songs that I think should be considered for the list, but this one's very mid. Like, our songs head to head, mine beats yours production wise, absolutely. Gord Downey's better singer than John Mellencamp. His delivery is better. The bass line in this, the guitar work, just the overall groove and the rhythm. Yours is very mid. He does this style better. Cherry Bomb does this style better, and that got cut off of my list. I think this for the top 100, and like even like you were saying, like the lyrics or whatever, like I go to like the married an LA doll and brought her to this small town. That sounds like him doing a Bob Dylan impression. Like, he's just rhyming off, and it doesn't come out clear. Like, it sounds like he's rambling, and it doesn't help with like the last lines being small town.
Honestly, it's more about just his pride of where he was from. And he wants to share that. And he wants to share that with his wife, who he brought from LA to this small town. Just even at the end where he's like, I was born in a small town. My family lived in a small town. Probably going to die in a small town. That's probably where they're going to bury me. Like, that just is so great. It's just like even when I'm dead, I want to be buried in this location. I want to stay here forever. There's and as I said, with the instrumentation, the fact that you're saying that Grace 2 is so much better produced than this one, I don't quite understand. It really well produced. I'm not gonna lie, they both are very well produced. But as I said, that harmonica alone just adds a level of comfort from going to the low end to the high end. And I think that Grace 2 is a great song. I had never heard it before this, so I am a little biased in its placement. I will admit that. I think it's a little too high. You had it at 99. However, I think this is a matchup where we both disagree with the placements of it all.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to this song for I'm gonna have more of a sentimental value to it. It's kind of like how I am with like Jason Isbell. Like I respect him, but I don't have the same admiration for him like you would.
But Brooklyn, it's got floor toms. It's got floor toms.
But I still think that Cherry Bomb is the better song. That we could be like. I think that's a tougher battle here.
Right, but we can both agree that "Rockin' in the USA" is probably his weakest one, right?
No, "Mommy Kissing Santa Claus."
Okay, we're moving on to Cody.
Famous thing that my dad used to tell me is, "What would John Cougar Mellencamp do without America?" He would do nothing.
America.
That's all he knows about. That's all he sings about is America. Does again. This other Grace 2, I just don't know too well. I know Small Town pretty well. I think we've kind of got a trend, like, not saying they're bad. They're just not my kind of music. And I think, like, I've turned down some other musics that are similar to, like, that sound and stuff. I thought the song was okay, but, like, I'd have to go Small Town, even though I don't think Small Town's, like his top of America, but like even Barr
it's not his top.
Like even when Barr was trying to sell it, was like it's America. Like, that's great. He's talking about, I get it, but yeah. So
that's exactly my pitch. America. That's great.
It's great.
All right. Well, let's move on to number 292 and 291. This is going to get good. Imagine by John Lennon versus Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie.
Is this by John Lennon or Gal Gadot and the group of
Don't be tipping points here. Don't be tipping points.
I just want that I'm curious.
Brooklyn, you answer while I think about that.
Well, I may as well just open with that. That version kind of killed the song. Cody brought it up. But,
okay, let's talk about Ice Ice Baby then.
Okay. Anyways, at least it was done in like a different style, so that we could at least kind of appreciate Imagine.
They're completely
Under
different.
Pressure. When Under Pressure first came onto the list, when we were doing the original series, I was like, okay, it's good, but I think it's a little overrated. And then I kind of I listened to it more and more, and I just think that the back and forth between Freddie Mercury and David Bowie is great. It's kind of hard to mess this one up live. Like, anybody can really cover this, and I think it gets the same effect. For the obviously it's not Freddie and David, but I think anybody could do at least a serviceable job with it. I think the build up in that sat on a fence but it don't work section is really good, and the notes that Freddie hits, and then you have this very Queen-esque section that's like, can we give ourselves one more chance, and Brian just kind of shredding away on the guitar. I think it's a mashup where nobody's really sacrificing their style, and I think it works really well.
So with Imagine by John Lennon, I think the key to this was simplicity. Leaving it to the instrumentation that it is really makes you focus on the lyrics, but more importantly, John's delivery. John sounds great on this song. There's an earnestness and a sincerity to his voice that really makes the lyrics shine a lot more. And I was listening to it today, and I think I was having a rough day today, and I think because of that, the lyrics hit me a lot harder than they have in the past. Um, it just brings a sense of peace and inner calm to just literally just imagine these things. And it brings a new perspective to things. Um, it's a powerful piece that has stood the test of time for a good goddamn reason. Under Pressure probably should have been on my list. However, to say that anybody could do this is so wrong. So wrong. Like, to hit those notes that Freddie hits in this song, you have to have a great tenor in order to do that. So a great song. I think you saying that anyone can do this, though, I think is factually incorrect.
Anybody that practices, you can't do this at fucking karaoke. But if somebody sets out to do it, I think it's within, like, you don't have to be, like, I don't think you have to be like years and years and years trained. I think if you are, anyways, that's enough on that subject. Imagine by John Lennon. I will give you this, that I think it gets the "Don't Stop Believing" argument. That the first time you hear this, I think it is great. But I think you even said it yourself, is that you need to be in a particular vibe or setting for this. I think this can be like tedious and off-putting when you're in the wrong mood for it. And I just think this, like, the reason that this was off of my list is that I think it's just gotten talked to death. And if I want a one instrument, one vocalist kind of song, I know there is a little bit of strings in it, but there was other people that I wanted to talk about more.
You bring up, you have to be in the right mood and like right mindset for this. There's one particular song that we both had on our list that I would argue the exact same thing, but we both had on our list. So to have that kind of a song, that kind of argument for this song does not click. I think that's an unfair argument when there is a song about a particular drug that we both had on our list that you need to be in the right mindset to listen to.
Okay. I think I know which one you're talking about, but I'll have to confirm after.
Let's move on to Cody.
One, I don't love the expression that anybody can do under pressure. That's a weird statement from, like, I don't know if I heard that correctly or if we're just talking wildly. Listen. Imagine happened by that group of people. Now that proves not anybody can do it. But anybody can ruin the song. Because I have yet to this point heard the start of the song and not started laughing a little bit, which is not the purpose of the song. But that video exists, and it still exists on the internet, and Under Pressure is just a freaking banger. Like, if we're being real, like, you know what? I like David Bowie when you add him to Queen. It's a real good combo on that one. So I had to go Under Pressure on that one. Sorry.
No, that's cool. That's cool. God damn it!
What? Somebody edited that, watched that, and said, "You know what? That's a good idea." Oh my god! So morons! Like, wow.
Okay.
You know what the world needs right now? A bunch of millionaires and billionaires.
Imagine. Well, it could have been worse. What if they did "We Are the World"?
Oh, I want somebody. I want a
But
bunch
all
of artists.
actors. Ugh.
Listen, guys, imagine there's no. We're not doing anything to help it, but imagine if there isn't any. Like, great, cool. You're all living in your mansions where we're dealing with the pandemic. You suck.
I'm in a tiny apartment.
Yeah, thank you. Can I get a room? Imagine if you offered me a bedroom. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's move on to number 290 and 289 on our list. River by Joni Mitchell versus Risk by Metric. Let's see. I think I'm starting off on this one, I believe. So River by Joni Mitchell is just beauty in sadness. I think that Joni Mitchell's voice on this song is absolutely perfect. She sounds fantastic on this one. She's carrying a lot of weight in her delivery of these lyrics, and I think that is super effective in that regard. I love the slightly jazzy instrumentals on here. It's just a beautiful song to listen to, even if it is a very sad, heartbreaking song.
Yeah, so Metric is another sort of alt rock band from Canada. These guys have gone up in appreciation in the last like 3 years. Like this song in particular, I had discovered in 2021 while I was working at the old Red Shores, and I was just like, I'm sold. I think the guitar work in this is great. The small little guitar melody through the verse, and how sorry, 1 second here, how the lead singer is able to bounce off of that beat, and she kind of really finds her space. Emily Haynes is the name of the singer there. But then you get into like the started low, started late, started slow, started to lose control. The more we accelerate, and how she kind of plays off of that. There's that part after the chorus where it's the guitar, and it does one of my favorite things in songs when you play chords, but you still can do like a melodic line with it as well. And I think that line is just great, how it does the little like there's a note that kind of sounds off, but then it comes back in, and I think that's just very satisfying. Whereas with River by Joni Mitchell, I think this is fine, but I think it's trying to do too much lyrically. Piano wise, I think it's fine. Honestly, when I hear this initially, it makes me just want to hear Jingle Bells. Like if you're going to sample that song, I kind of want to hear that. But it starts off great when it's talking about her like wanting to leave California essentially, and kind of the music scene. But then it's like, it kind of goes off when it's like, oh, well, now it's just going to turn into like a breakup song. And like, oh, I lost this person. It's like, no, like, let's flesh out this dichotomy of it kind of being a Christmas song, but this industry also sucks. Like it could have been more for even Joni's standards.
Yeah, but it's a metaphor in the sense of the person that she lost is her drive. Is her desire to want to continue on in this scene. It's a metaphor, god damn it. And you honestly listen to this and when I'd rather be listening to Jingle Bells. Get the fuck out of here.
Just when you're going that hard on the sample though, like why, like you could have been more subtle with it.
To set a scene. Anyway. I really like Risk. Risk is actually one of my favorite songs of the year that it was released. I remember listening to that album when it came out. I just think that while it's a great song, I just don't think that it's top 500 of all time worthy, especially when surrounded by some of the other songs that you've picked. To have this above Under Pressure is a little confusing to me.
I think this one takes more risks in its melody. David,
Please tell me pun was intended.
Yes, absolutely was intended. That was not an accident.
Let's just send it over to Cody, who's dying inside.
Like, one of these is like you just worked a 12-hour shift and you have to pick something up at Walmart or like a grocery store that you really don't want to, and the parents in there screaming, the child's in there screaming, and the parents doing nothing to make that happen. And then you have the other one where you have a nephew come over and you can't discipline him because he's not your nephew, but all he does is keep kicking you in the shins. And the parents goes, "Isn't he funny?" I don't know how the hell both of these made the list. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like either one of these. And the fact that Under Pressure and Without Me and like Jim Croce and stuff were just not here. There were like these are higher and these like I don't know what we're doing, guys. I honestly at this point I don't know what to pick. But to make it interesting, I'm just gonna pick Risk to make the score a little closer.
Motherfucker.
But
Motherfucker.
You guys suck. Like, guys, come on. You're better than this. I expect better.
You're not mad.
I almost vetoed River and put a song by a country singer that has a similar title to it.
Garth Brooks, The River?
Correct. Better version. And there's
Okay.
there's a metaphor in there that the river is life and it guides you. That's what
I will let you know a Garth Brooks song did make my list, but it didn't qualify for this show. The Dance.
Why didn't it qualify?
Because it wasn't high enough.
It wasn't high enough.
I will keep that in mind.
I have playlists of the songs on our lists that don't make the show.
Oh, okay.
The episode? The episode?
Get a stroke.
Yeah. I'll send those to you later so you can look through those. So let's move on to 288.
Yeah, making me ammo to use a veto.
288 and 287. Jack and Diane by John Mellencamp versus Levitating by Dua Lipa featuring DaBaby. Brooklyn, you're first.
Okay, say what you will about DaBaby. I think separating the art from the artist. I think it's an incredible entrance to a song, and just the beat in this is great. Dua Lipa has said that she's taken inspiration from Blondie, among others, and this is absolutely like a Blondie song that would be done today. How she is playing around in the rhythm in this, and she's doing that just mile a minute style. And I think there's some really smart choices in the production, like when they're using the strings almost exclusively in the pre-chorus to kind of give you that extra depth as we get into the chorus. I can't say enough about the beat. The claps in it, I think are great because as a listener, you just instinctively go to it because it has a great sense of rhythm in it. The DaBaby verse is great. Like, I want to listen to like a 9-minute cut of just different rappers coming in and seeing what they would do with the beat, because I think it is that good. This is, I think, the second song that I have off of Future Nostalgia, and I believe it's the last one as well. This is kind of where this album peaks. Yeah.
Jack and Diane, as Cody said earlier, America, it's great. But lyrically, I think Jack and Diane is a fantastic song. It just captures two Midwestern teens in love. And it's kind of flirty. I love the playfulness of the lyrics in this. John Mellencamp is doing a great job delivering these lyrics. That chorus, just the power and the gruffness of his voice really carries through. And arguably the most iconic hand claps in a song. I think that this is just an insanely well-written, well-sung, well-played song. Instantly catchy. Most people, if you start singing this at a bar, will know exactly what song you're singing. It has hit up nerve in American culture that I think has done a terrific job of possibly even getting better with age. Levitating by Dua Lipa featuring DaBaby. I like this song. You did one thing wrong though. You picked the version featuring DaBaby. Um, I'm sorry. DaBaby's verse on this is a nothing burger. It is just scattershot rhymes that he was like, all right, well, this word rhymes with this word, so let's make this sentence, I'm guessing. Let's try this and blah blah blah. It's pointless to the song. There's no point for that verse to be in there. It literally grinds the song to a fucking halt. Also, if we're going to talk about the melody of this song, we have to talk about the song that influenced this one the most, which is Rosa Parks by Outkast, which has the uh-huh, yeah, baby, uh-huh, baby, all right, yeah. That's Rosa Parks from Outkast. Once again, not saying that, sampling or interpolations don't make a song good. I'm just saying that we have to give credit where credit's due. But yeah, man, if you picked just the Dua Lipa version, I think you would have an argument for having a spot on this list because it's great.
I think that original version loses steam by the second verse because I think his entrance is like one of the greatest. Ain't no debating on it. Still levitated and heavily medicated. Ironic, I gave him love and Nanda Payton on it. He told me she loved me, and I think he's giving almost like a drumline style beat. I think it's hard to replicate. I do like Jack and Diane. I think it's great. I like the bridge in this, like go let it rock, let it roll. Hold on to 16 as long as you can. Changes come around real soon. I think that's a really good line. If we're talking about songs that got influenced by ours, whenever I hear this song, and I blame this because I was a child of the 2000s, Jessica Simpson had a song called "I Think I'm in Love" that samples the intro of Jack and Diane. So that has ruined the song for me to an extent. But yeah. Oh, and then also because I have to do it for the trend, Weird Al did a really cool cover of this on The Simpsons called "Homer and Marge," and I instinctively sing that one. It's just sweet and silly.
You instinct? Okay.
Homer and Marge.
Let's move on to Cody.
Didn't you say something about like it needs more time to like age and stuff for Mad City from Kendrick Lamar? Is that what you said? Isn't that like a word that you used on the show?
I did.
And then you said levitating. Skip all of it. Done.
Because it has it. Because I think that it has its spot as opposed to Mad City.
It's a TikTok like this. Hello. TikTok was TikTok. Bing bong. TikTok made this song like the popular it is and everything else. Like this song sucks personally outside of the little thing. Jack and Diane is fantastic. Like, Jack and Diane is incredible. That moves on. Please, I almost vetoed Levitating. And then you know how I knew I almost vetoed it? I was playing it, and then my wife was like, "How much it, baby? It was a good move." Like it instantly started playing. That's when you know it's a skip one. She likes Taylor Swift.
Okay, Mr. Producer Man, you finishing up back there? Okay, cool. So there's that Levitating and Jack and Diane by John Mellencamp. Okay, moving on to 286 and 285. Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon & Garfunkel versus Tangled Up in Blue by Bob Dylan. I think I'm going first on this. Yes, I am. I'm going first on this one. Cody, I'm going to list off a name of artists. Okay? Elvis Presley, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, the Jackson 5, Aretha Franklin. You know what song all of these artists have covered? Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon & Garfunkel. Even all of these legends of music have agreed that this is a fantastic song. And it is just a beautiful song to listen to. The production is absolutely gorgeous. Art Garfunkel doesn't normally get the chance to be like the main singer in Simon and Garfunkel, but he took his chance and ran with it. His soft, delicate, sensitive voice is just so good, as it's just like a nice comfort of friendship and support at the beginning. And then as it swells and builds with Paul Simon's vocals layered on top of him and the drums, is just a fantastic symphonic swell of just beautiful, gorgeous music.
So, Tangled Up in Blue kind of takes the stereotypes that Bob Dylan's known for and is kind of like, I can make this really good. I can fit into the beat of the song that I'm making. The kind of the Dr. Seuss-esque kind of delivery that he has is like, they never did like what Mama's homemade dress, Papa's bank book wasn't big enough. How he'll shorten some syllables but accentuate others. I think what puts this so high up in my list for me is that it's used really well in St. Vincent. Bill Murray sings this at the closing credits, and I think it's kind of a perfect song for him. I also think it does something really good in the chords as well. It goes a little off kilter, and actually, John Mellencamp does a similar chord progression in Pink Houses. It's kind of the same one where it uses like an F chord basically in the G scale, and it just sounds different enough to kind of make it pop. Whereas with Bridge Over Troubled Water, I get that this is a really pretty song. I think Paul Simon is an incredible songwriter, and you can tell that he wrote it. Garfunkel is okay as a vocalist. I kind of was like, I wonder what this would sound like if Paul just sang it himself, because I think he also gives that soft delivery. I think he's a little bit less gravelly. The three of us on call know how much we also love Billy Joel. What puts this aside from like She's Always a Woman to Me? Because I think that this is a better song in that style. Like it's cool, but I think it's also like, I think the title has kind of hurt it over the years, because I think people initially give it that perception of like, oh, it's kind of like pretentious and like just how troubled water sounds coming off the tongue. But you're muted.
That's my thought. No. Tangled Up in Blue, one of Bob Dylan's best songs. I agree with you. The rhythm carries through the entire time. The song doesn't feel as long as it actually is. Some of Bob Dylan's better vocals, great groove. It's not Bridge Over Troubled Water. It doesn't create this beautiful sonic landscape that this one does. And it's just so lyrically well written that it's very universal in its warmth. Whereas with Tangled Up in Blue, as much as I like the song a lot, it doesn't quite have that universality that this one has.
Are you saying that a breakup song isn't universal, that people don't break up? She turned around to look at me as I was walking away. I heard her say over my shoulder, "We'll meet again someday on the avenue." Tangled Up in Blue.
The problem with Tangled Up in Blue, though, is that it's about a specific person.
Okay. I mean, a lot of songs are about specific people. Look at the fucking Calvin Harris song with Katy Perry, Feels. 1000% a diss song about Taylor Swift, and it became one of the greatest pop songs of its year.
All right. Let's move on to Cody.
I mean, Brooklyn, where do you think I'm going on this? I'm just curious.
I know where you're going on this. I figured I had to try.
Yeah. I've already made my strong feelings towards Bob Dylan. Bridge Over Troubled Water is fantastic. Regardless, same rule I applied for Hallelujah. Like, it's on the list. Like, take your picks, but it's on the list. So.
I'm assuming you're going to go. You would prefer the Aretha Franklin version, or the Willie Nelson
Yeah.
version, or the Johnny Cash version.
Aretha Franklin by far, but that's
Okay, fair. All right, let's move on to number 285 and 284 and 283. Thunder Road by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band versus Royals by Lorde. Brooklyn has the floor on this one.
Lord.
Yeah, so I think this is a great song of its time. Like the mid 2000s pop, we were getting some really experimental usage of like bass and just kind of the effect that it can have, especially like in the verses. I think the way that her voice just kind of sits on top of the beat is like, and how she comes in, like, I never seen a diamond in the flesh. I think just some really quotable lines. Like Baby I'll Rule, Let Me Live That Fantasy. I just think it has a very spacious sort of feel. Like it fills a room fairly easily. And yeah, just it's an interesting story because I think she had Lorde had one other song, and then she hasn't really done much since.
I mean, Green Light, but I mean, that didn't do as well as everything else. But Thunder Road by Bruce Springsteen, just a sweeping epic of rock and roll. Bruce, this is actually one of the better performed songs vocally by Bruce. I think that the melody is just super infectious. It gets deep into your blood. And it's just, especially in a car, holy crap, does this song just feel like freedom on the road. It is the wind whipping in your hair as you're driving down the I-95. Maybe not the I-95 at this moment, Philadelphia. Sorry about that. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. But it is just the wind whipping in your hair as you're just like driving to anywhere with the love of your life in the passenger seat. It is just an awesome song. So Royals by Lorde. I think that it is. I think it is a great song. I think it's a very important song in the history of music because the amount of young women who kind of went a similar path in their style and their production lasted a long time, including Billie Eilish, actually, who I think was super influenced by Lorde. So I think it is a great song. I think its importance is a little bit stronger than the quality of the song itself. Not saying that it's not a good song. I love the song. It just kept slipping off of my list to the point where it was just off of it.
Yeah.
Talk about your hatred for America, New Jersey, Brooklyn.
So I would like to take a glimpse into the writer's room for the song to give you a brief synopsis as to how this was made. So we already made Born to Run. It has a pretty good chord progression in it. Can we speed it up a little bit and then just do that? We'll call it Thunder Road. And yeah, we'll just add in more sax. But it's basically all the ideas from Born to Run. In this, like in a live, like I think this would be better live. I would have more of an appreciation for it, but I think that this, like, it's either Thunder Road or Born to Run, one of the two, and I think we've already talked about Born to Run, or it's on here somewhere. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it, really.
I'm sorry, you have a problem with more sax? You have a problem with more Clarence fucking Clemons from the E Street Band? Get the fuck out of here.
When it's filler because you already sped up an unoriginal concept.
Oh my god, Cody. You go.
Oh, you need me? It's my turn?
Yes.
Okay.
It's your turn.
Listen, when Royals came out, it shook probably music for a while.
Yeah.
We don't live in that time anymore. We don't live in that time anymore. That time is over. This song sucks. I remember, like, I loved it for the time. I was like, dude, but if I hear this, it's like nails on a chalkboard now. It was probably one of the most overplayed songs of that time for a long, like, because nothing sounded like that at the time. So they were like, they played it till it wore out. Like, there's other country, like, there's songs, since I'm from Missouri, there's country songs that came out around that time frame too that they ran to the ground because people liked and liked to tap. Like, I'm telling you, some music they like to
Cruise,
run.
Florida Georgia line got played
All summer long, all summer
long. Oh,
like, me and my wife still like that's not even, like, we recorded that, like, done, but it was played all the time. So no, thank you. I will take Thunder Road because America and New Jersey.
Rock on, New Jersey.
No, New Jersey sucks. Let's be real. Nothing.
Well, we can discuss that.
I don't think any of my Canadiana picks have won anyway. So, like, even if when America's in the battle,
America.
Well, let's talk about, for number 282 and 281, America versus Eric Clapton. Run Through the Jungle by Creedence Clearwater Revival versus Lonely Stranger, the live acoustic version by Eric Clapton. God damn it. It's Creedence Clearwater Revival, baby. John Fogerty is just fucking killing it on this song. The guitar in this song really does somehow create the feeling of being in the jungle, and the tension that there could be something just like right behind you at any moment. Yeah, this was obviously written during like the Vietnam War era, but it is just a masterclass of mood and atmosphere and tension and just great instrumentation, expert vocals, sticky melody. It's a fantastic, amazing song.
So Lonely Stranger is off of the MTV Unplugged album that Eric Clapton did, and it's played, I believe, right after he does Layla. And this is just a very soft, pretty song. I think the lickiness is great. How he opens it is like, I must be invincible. No one knows me. And just like the faintness that he has in the chorus, I think the backing vocals in this are incredible. When you get into the ending of it, like I'll be on my way, and just how they echo it and the harmony they create in it. And he gets to when he gets into the chorus as well, like I'm a lonely stranger here, will be on my way, and you have that mandolin come in for a little bit. It just gives it enough kind of tension. There's a real kind of funk in the bass in this. Like they're obviously using like a fretless bass to kind of give it, make it sort of stand out from everything else. And I just think it's one of the better usages of Eric's ballad side. Whereas with Run Through the Jungle, I agree with you in that it kind of sets the tone well. I think the production at the start, where they're really kind of creating that jungle vibe, kind of helps us, like sort of like you're welcoming into it. The things that I will say though, one, you have already on this show have complained about John Fogerty's vocals and that he's given a southern accent despite being from California. So I'm just going to give that right back to you. The second thing is, for the guitar work, we can go two different options here. We can go better finger style from CCR, which it would be Fortunate Son, which we'll be absolutely talking about later.
We'll be talking about the fingering powers of Creedence Clearwater Revival.
And then, later. But even if you wanted to say, hey, I don't think that's the greatest style of that. If you want to continue with that like Crab-esque style, you would go with like Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits, and that you would have to use Money for Nothing, and that song didn't make either of our lists. So I think if you're going with that style of finger work on an electric guitar, you need to have Money for Nothing in the slot.
So you brought up my previous words when we talked about Creedence Clearwater Revival before. Yes. My problem with that is how overemphasized he's twisting and contorting that accent. He's not necessarily doing that here. Yeah, it's still hard and aggressive, but it's not like him like doing that.
Oh, absolutely, he's doing that. Like Thadi Hoida Rumbun. Who says Hoid?
You just did. Boom, roasted. So the thing with Lonely Stranger, so here's my big issue with Lonely Stranger. I don't think it's bad. I think it's very, very good. But I've listened to this song multiple times now, and multiple times today. I cannot remember the melody to save my life. I literally had to start listening to it again as you were talking, and it's already gone. It's a great in the moment piece. Love listening to it when I'm listening to it, but it just doesn't stick, and that's my main problem with this song.
I mean, it's the CCR's in this battle, so I don't think I have that great of a chance. But Cody, let's see what you have to say.
I will edit this for you, but can I take a pause? This
Sure.
is Melee's having a whole fit right now,
Uh-oh.
and
Yeah.
I'll download it, edit it, and doing all that stuff. But I have to make the call right now, so give me a
No,
second.
go.
Okay.
I will be right.
Cool.
Want to hear a song that I'm working on?
Sure.
It's a cover, but it's
a cover.
Yeah. I want to see if you can figure it out. I'm not gonna sing anything. I'm just gonna give you the chord progression.
Yo move. Cause you're so smooth.
I think actually you can edit on StreamYard, so it'll be a real quick edit on the page, just to let you know. But on that note,
cool. Everything good? We got it all settled?
They didn't solve it. They solved it before I got there, so whatever. Nazario's pissed. It's whatever.
All right. I didn't write anything for this match, it looks like, so I don't care. So 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. As Brooklyn said, let's go to Cody.
Tough choice. I think I'm going to surprise some with this by not going with CCR. I'm actually going to go with Eric Clapton. I really enjoyed the song. I listened to it probably the most of the new song. Like I've heard a song earlier in life, but never really like made it a part of my playlist. Really good live. Like it was a really good song. Even though I love Run Through the Jungle, I think it's a strong song. It's not my favorite CCR. It doesn't even like crack like my personal like list. So I have to go with that one just to like make it right, because that would Lonely Stranger is awesome, like an awesome song. So good choice.
Fair enough. All right. So with that being said, let's go over the list of what we went through this episode. So number 300 is Moon Age Daydream by David Bowie. Number 299, Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. Number 298, I Feel Love by Donna Summer. 297, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. 296, I Got a Name by Jim Croce. 295, Without Me by Eminem. 294, Grace 2 by The Tragically Hip. Number 293, Small Town by John Mellencamp. 292, Imagine by John Lennon, as well as a bunch of other celebrities, according to the people on the show. Number 291, Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie. Number 290, River by Joni Mitchell. Number 289, Risk by Metric. Number 288, Levitating by Dua Lipa featuring DaBaby. Number 287, Jack and Diane by John Mellencamp. Number 286, Tangled Up in Blue by Bob Dylan. Number 285, Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel. 284, Royals by Lorde. 283, Thunder Road by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. Number 282, Run Through the Jungle by Creedence Clearwater Revival. And 281, the acoustic live version of Lonely Stranger by Eric Clapton. So, with that being said, and Cody making a decision when it came to River versus Risk, we tied this episode.
Okay, so you're still up by 4.
So the score is now 57 to 53. There are still, I believe, 3 episodes of us with our separate lists before we get to the combined ones. So Brooklyn still has a chance to catch up. Cody, I am sending you the playlist for the next episode right now. Give us your thoughts. Live. Okay. You're muted. You're muted.
You're muted.
There's some really good stuff, but there's some stuff that should not be on this list, and I'm not happy about it. If you've watched previous episodes, you'll know what's coming. These people are just consistently trying to piss me off, basically. So
You saw
and
the
I
last.
see a person on there that may get the axe. So who knows?
I am not looking forward to next episode. I'm not going to lie. All right, guys. With that being said, that's been Cody Newberry. That's Brooklyn Vale. I'm Andrew Barr. Thank you guys for watching Off Our Stones, an affiliate of the Video Store, and keep on rocking.
Buy our shit.
Buy our shit.